Welcome back to this week's episode of Thoroughbreds Declassified. My name is Nikki Morris, and today I'm joined by my co-host and father, Ryan Campbell, as well as my husband, Justin Morris. And today, we want to kick off this episode by first sending a very special shout out to all of the Thoroughbreds in North America, as they are officially a year older thanks to the new year. Dad, do you have any special shout outs of your favorite horses who deserve the biggest happy birthday?
Lintnor and Icebox both turned 18 yesterday.
Oh, they're legal now.
Yeah, absolutely crazy to think that they're both 18 years old. Truth is now a 3-year-old, so there's a special shout out.
That was the big one I was thinking of. The fact that she's 3, crazy.
It's hard to believe we've really, honestly, our social media footprint is really focused around when she came.
Mm-hmm.
So, wow, we've been doing this.
I'm gonna get you with one more. Oakley's a yearling.
Yeah. Oakley, no longer with Mama.
I bet Mama's so happy about that one.
No.
If you haven't met Oakley, if you haven't seen Oakley on Dad's TikTok, Oakley is our 2025 Icebox filly out of Day Dawn. And we've had spicy fillies in the past, all right? We love a good spicy filly. We want her to have a personality, stand up for herself, whatever. Oakley takes that to a whole nother dimension.
We called Truth the demon child, and Oakley is worse.
Oakley said, "Hold my beer."
At least Truth only kicked me in the shin.
Yeah.
Justin has been kicked by 2 horses his entire life, and both of them were spicy redheads.
Yep.
Now,
he likes some spicy redheads.
Yeah. Although she's extremely spicy, she just wants to run all the time.
And she's probably the most athletic baby I've ever seen. I mean, she loves walking on her hind legs. She's naturally built very uphill, and she knows that she's athletic, so she will jump over everything. She will steamroll right into other horses. She will back down other mares. She has no fear.
Yeah, I mean, there's been several people been like, well, when she gets around bigger horses than her, she'll calm down. I'm like, guys, it doesn't matter. For a long time, Dawn was the boss of the field, which Dawn is Oakley's mom. But in the last 3 weeks, Oakley was the boss of the field. Oakley would run her mom off of round bales and everything. So, doesn't matter. Bigger yearlings, now that they're yearlings, Oakley has no fear of a full-grown broodmare, let alone a yearling that's a little bit bigger than her.
Well, it's crazy. She was telling me about this whole concept of January 1st being the birthdays is like that if a baby was born hypothetically on December 31st, the next day it's a year old. And that's just, as somebody outside from the horse game, that's a wild concept.
One of my favorite, I don't want to say favorite situations because I don't really have a favorite situation for this happening. But one of the funniest things to see are when farms, or we saw a social media influencer last year had a baby. It was like on December 28th or December 29th, and talking about all of the struggles you're going to go through if you show that your baby was born before January 1st. Yeah, suddenly you got a 4-day-old yearling.
Yeah, if you, let's say it's a show baby, and you're wanting to do futurities with it has to do those when it's technically a year old. Yeah. Even though, it's was born a week before January 1st, it's a yearling on January 1st, so it really messes you up. The funny ones that I think are the posts on New Year's Day, and they're like, oh, we were blessed with this baby on January 1st. We were getting so nervous. And you look at the baby, babies have their own look because they're kind of folded up and their muscle is a little bit different those first few days of life.
They're kind of scrawny.
Yeah,
Bony.
and you see this baby that it's like, that baby's a week old.
And it has fuzzy hair.
Yeah, that baby's a week old. So now we were close.
Mm-hmm.
Luckily, our first mare on schedule for this year, her safe date, which is 320 days, was December 28th.
We're doing better than we did last year, so.
Yeah, well, it's the same mare, and that mare delivered 7 to 8 weeks early last year.
So we are already doing better.
Already doing better. If she were to have the baby tomorrow, it should be fine. Another thing that I would like to bring up before we do this is it's also awards season.
Mm-hmm.
We've got, I believe, the Eclipse Award nominations just recently came out, and also, for our local regional program on January 17th is the awards ceremonies for the Indiana Horse of the Year, Stallion of the Year, Broodmare of the Year, and the individual divisions. And this year, we're Thoroughbreds Declassified is actually going to televise that live with Nick and I will be commentating it, and we'll have interviews with the winners of individual awards, and it's the first time that it's ever been done at the Indiana Awards program, and honestly, it's the first time Nick or I have ever done it. So it'll be a learning year, but it's hopefully something we can continue. But we will do a live event on YouTube, January 17th, which is a Saturday. So we'll keep letting people know and posting it on social media. Hopefully you guys can join and watch that live event. Once the live event is over, we will edit it and make it as a normal podcast post for everybody to see that couldn't do the live event. Also thinking that we might take some questions during the live event as well, because there may be some things that maybe viewers would want to ask of Nick or I, or any of the awards people. So
we're gonna have to figure out who's gonna be the color commentator.
Obviously, it's going to be you.
I figure you'd be a great color commentator.
Now, when it comes, it even goes. I mean, we're kind of tying into what the subject is when it comes to our broodmares and stallion pick and that kind of stuff. I'm not the color version of that. I'm the genetics version of that, and that's kind of the nice thing of the way we do things. Is Nick is the visual confirmation what this stallion can add to this mare type individual, and then I'm just looking at the family histories and genetics and see what looks good on paper.
I mean that too, but I was thinking more like color commentator is like, the good cop bad cop situation. Like commentators on WWE.
Yeah, you'll be the bad cop. You're the heel.
That's fine.
Yeah. Something like that.
We would have Justin join us on that, but I think Justin actually has to work that day.
Yeah, I sell cars for a living, so if you're in that industry, Saturdays off are like a rarity or a holy grail. I actually have one, but very well, it's one every 6 or 7 months that you get. So I'll be there in spirit, not hopefully the movie.
Hopefully he'll watch it live.
I will have it on. I'll show it to my customers as I'm giving them a car. That'll be the double experience.
Hey, maybe Mareworthy will come and see you again.
Yeah, maybe.
So, how was Christmas this year? Obviously, I know that, but the audience doesn't.
Yeah, it was probably one of the best Christmases we've had in a minute. Now, it was chaotic leading up to it. Justin totaled his car.
Yeah.
Love that. So, it was pretty stressful heading into the holiday season, but everything went smoothly. We got to see the horses, got to go stuff hay bags, and got
Really good
to.
Christmas. We got to spend some family time, got some stress off of our plate. It's very small. Me and Nick have had a very tumultuous year and a half. So to kind of bring that year to an end on a good note and try to start 26 fresh has been a really good thing for us. And really, really enjoyed it. What did you think of Christmas, Ryan?
Oh, I think it was great with your sister here and
Mhm.
everybody everybody being able to be together.
Mhm.
It was probably the best part of it. Obviously, we ended up getting leading up to Christmas. We ended up getting two horses that
Mhm.
we had planned on. Yeah, it was really good. New Year's was just really another day.
Yeah.
At this point in time, I'm trying to get as much downtime as possible because within a week or two, you know, baby will be hitting the ground and staying up all night. And then February 10th, the breeding shed opens. So we've got a list of about 20, 30 open mares that have to be bred. We're going to try to wrap them up in the first 30 days. So, which by doing that makes 2027, the beginning of the year, really, really chaotic.
But
So,
hopefully that means you'll have foaling season done pretty early by that point.
um, that was kind of like 2025. We
Yeah.
had bred so many mares early because they were open. We
Hmm.
knocked a lot of mares out in January and February that would have typically been mares that we were pulling out in April or May. So May
Now,
ended up being a lot slower.
Dad has a really cool item that he has to show you guys. He found, and you can tell that we're a history buff family. He got one of the coolest journals I think you can find on Amazon, and now he's using it to take notes for mares as well as for thoroughbreds declassified. This is
And
like the magic.
I have to be honest, I didn't know anything about these until Justin got one for Christmas,
Yep.
which must have been Nick giving her grandmother the idea to be able to get it.
Yep.
But it is
I
a
can find
leather
me a good notebook.
it is a leather bound notebook,
Mhm.
and then the pages
So cool.
the pages are old looking, so when you write in it, it actually looks like the notes have been taken back in the heyday of Calumet and the Triple Crown winners and Man of War and all of that.
I
But
pretend my notebooks like that are like magic notebooks, so if whatever I write in them is gonna happen.
I told Nick when I write in it, I kind of feel like a pirate because it looks like a notebook that a pirate would carry around. Kind of the importance, I guess, of that. Not only did I get that one, which is like 8x6, that notebook, I also got an 8x10 version of it. Um, but I've told Nick if anything ever happened to me, she needs to come in the house and grab every spiral notebook that she can find because all of my thought processes that come to breeding and stallions and mares and all that kind of stuff are or horses at the sale, horses that we've looked at. I've probably got 7 years of horses that we had on the short list for the sales and why written in these spiral notebooks that they really all needed to be in one place, but just kind of grabbed whatever spiral notebook was in front of me.
Mhm.
And if she comes in and gets all the spiral notebooks, it's probably going to be 30 or 40 of them.
I can write my own book.
Yeah. Yeah. We could just cut the pages out and publish them.
Yeah.
So that is one thing. I'm going to start carrying that during foaling season, also taking notes in it, taking notes during the sales, notes on each one of the mares. Like the first thing I did is basically broke down all of our mares and who we were breeding them to this year, which one of them changed, two of them changed because of something that happened on New
Always
Year's.
write intentional.
Well, no, I like watching the changes as well.
Oh no, you're someone who scratches it out and leaves it on the page. Oh my
Yeah,
gosh, I can't. I have to do pencil because if there's any imperfection, it's gone.
I with this, when there's a change, like this horse originally was planned to be bred to this stallion, and then it was changed.
Yeah.
Then I like seeing that for 2020, 2026 breeding season, there was an audible call.
Yeah.
So, which
Interesting.
ironically, one of the mares is who we're going to talk about here in just a little bit.
Yep.
Yeah,
So,
and someone gave you that idea.
well,
Kind of.
that notebook was really good.
You okay there, old man?
Mm-hmm.
It's definitely going to be my season of between regular work and foaling and breeding, and we've got mares coming in from Canada to be bred to one of the stallions, and really from Florida, Kentucky, South Carolina. There's mares coming from all over for the boys this year.
I love to hear it. As you guys may have picked up, it is the most wonderful time of year. It is foaling season and breeding season for 2026. So, this episode, we are bringing you a preview for what our foaling and breeding season is going to look like in 2026, focusing on 4 mares today. Let's get into it.
Yeah, these 4 mares are going to be well, 3 of the mares will be mares that are actually having babies this year. And then one of them, she was supposed to have a baby in May, but at some point in time between, well, I think her last check was July, and now she has slipped the baby. So that opened up a lot of things for her that having a May 8th baby really didn't open up, and we're going to be able to do something that we've talked about for a long time.
That's happening a lot this year.
With mares slipping?
No, with being able to do things we've been talking about for a long time.
Oh, yeah. Well, and it helps that there's a significant number of more mares than in the past. So,
Cool.
like Nick said, it's going to just do a preview of the 2026 breeding and foaling season. We're going to talk about what foals we're having this year, which stallions we're going to breed each mare to this year, why we pick the stallions for the mares, and just an overview of the horses in our breeding division, which would be the Broodmares and the stallions that fall under the Risen Storm moniker. It's definitely changed over the years. I mean, we've been in this business 20 years this year. Now that is a crazy statement.
That's crazy.
But we're definitely getting to do things that we've talked about for 20 years. And we definitely have more stallions than we've ever had in the 20 years. So,
Justin, before we head too far into this, how are you? Are you feeling jazzed about 2026?
I'm excited to see. The biggest thing that's going to be for me is because there's so many additions to mares, is remembering who goes to who. I actually got to a point last year where I was naming them all, I knew them all. Now with 13, there may be some times where I'm going to misconstrue some names around. But today
don't
we're
feel
going
bad.
to.
I'll go through and count on my fingers and go, okay, who am I missing?
Who am I missing?
Yeah, that's probably how we're going to have to end up doing it, because it's an ever evolving and changing business, and I keep up, but I don't have the 20 years of experience like they have here, so my brain only operates so fast.
Now, I will say this year, Justin is really excited because there is a possibility that we could have a lot of his favorite color this year.
I am basic, and I'm a gray horse person. I know. I get it. I'm sorry. I'm a casual. I get it.
Bully.
We've been I've been waiting for a potential of a gray baby, and I do think if it doesn't happen this year, I think gray just may not be in the folds. I think it's a pretty good chance that this year may be the first year.
Um, the sad thing about those gray babies is not a single one of them can even attempt to be on the keep list.
Nope.
Because they're attached to stud fees.
Good thing we have a gray stallion, so we could get some gray keepers next year.
Yep.
So, first mare we're going to talk about is our first mare getting ready to foal. She's had a history with us. If anybody, from, our other social media accounts have, are watching, this mare is the mare that we bred to Authentic for a 2025 foal, and she ended up having the baby extremely early, as in 7 to 8 weeks early. Was not, basically the baby didn't have the cartilage in its legs and stuff developed, and couldn't stand, so it wasn't viable. So we ended up losing that baby, but that also allowed us to be able to. We had already booked her to a particular stallion, so we were able to get I think the breeding shed had been open for 2 days when she was in there.
Being a special mare for us, I think we kind of take her presence in our story for granted a little bit. So Bien was the first broodmare that we bought after we lost Dare. And so that means that we've had Bien longer than anyone on the list that we're going to be talking about.
Yeah, I mean, which is crazy. And of everybody on the list, she's been around the longest, and hopefully this year is the first year we get a baby from her.
Yeah.
No kidding.
But once we got her, she was in foal. We made the deal that the owner could keep the baby, be the breeder on the baby. So her first baby, when we owned her, was actually not ours. She foaled so late that we decided we would skip that year and get an early cover, which we did with Authentic. And then the Authentic baby, that circumstance came about. So now we're hoping to get our first baby out of this mare, which is not a horrible problem because she's 7 this year. She's 2019, so there's still plenty of years with her. She is Canadian, a daughter of Connect. She's exactly what Nick likes. No color.
Not white.
That is Nick's.
Yeah.
Just go to, and it's also Nick has a thing for Curlin, and she's by a son of Curlin. Connects the sire of Rattle and Roll, who has been a really successful racehorse. What was the thing to you? And I know what it is of why she was a pretty important mare for us to pick up.
So
because you actually had to talk me into getting her.
Yeah, at the time that we got her, this was summer of 2023. So there wasn't, at the time, White Barrio hadn't come back yet. But it was the fact that when White Barrio did run up until that point, he showed up every time. And I love the fact that she was out of a stakes place dam. And then the stakes place dam was a half to a producer of a grade 1 winner, which was massive at the time. Now, when we got her, like I said, White Barrio wasn't really doing anything. This was before his Whitney win. He went on to win the Whitney and the Breeders' Cup Classic the very year that we bought this mare, thinking that we weren't going to be able to count on him to add more to her page. And here we are. So, she's always been an interesting mare. I love the fact that she's by Connect. I do think that this is a turf mare through and through. I do think that she will probably throw better turf runners than dirt runners, but I think we've got a lot to be excited about with her.
Yeah, and it wasn't just White Abario. And this page is a little bit older since this. I didn't pull a brand new page on it, but um, Downside Scenario, which was by Scat Daddy, which is um, Deanne's Dam's half sister. Not only did she produce Mutasabek, there's a full sibling to Mutasabek who is also a graded stakes winner. So, you definitely look at it and think, okay, Into Mischief for, that line would go well with this family. You also think the Pulpit Tappet line will go well with this family.
Well, you have
And
to look at Breeze Lass too. That, if I remember right, grade stakes performer has produced grade stakes winners with a Cool Cowboy on there as well. I mean, there's talent in depth in every generation for this mare.
right.
And I think I'm most excited about who we sent her to for 2026.
Charge It is pouring it on, winning the Dwyer by the length of the stretch. Charge It wins it convincingly in this Grade 2 Suburban.
So I cut you off on that. I think we both were.
Mm-hmm.
We knew we wanted to go the Tappet line, and yes, there were definitely at the same farm there were two Tappet line stallions, that we could choose from.
Mm-hmm.
But Charge It, just his entire look was just phenomenal. Everything about Charge It, and a lot of other breeders saw it too. I think he was the second highest first year stallion with number of mares bred. Um, you know, there's all kind of things you can say about him, from the win by 20 plus lengths. But then there's the female side too that is just phenomenal with him.
Well, and we've seen with Tappets, Tappet being who he is, he always gets bred to the best of the best. You can always expect Tappets coming in, they're going to have killer female families. But the ones that really seem to be doing well have a very specific substance about them and a very specific build. I think Constitution is a really good example of it. He's not your tiny Tappet son out there. He has some leg to him, he has some scope, and he has some real body to him. I mean, if you look at Tis the Law, he's a little brick house. And I think Charge It, you definitely see that. You have the Take Charge Lady female family boosting him above. I think this may end up being one of the best sons of Tappet, at least on paper, to ever enter stud, especially for that stud fee.
So I'm trying to think off the top of my head, but isn't the Take Charge Lady family the same as Tease the Gray?
No. Nope, that's the Mark family that you're thinking of.
So no, I'm
No,
I'm
Take
excited.
Randy. There's
Charge.
so many of us.
Yeah,
Take
we'll
charge.
yeah. So pretty excited about it. Obviously, why we're doing it. Son of Tappet, White Abario's sire, race day, son of Tappet. So definitely with the family has definitely shown an affinity to that Tappet pulpit line, as well as the Into Mischief line. So it was the year that we were going to do it, and she has typically been what we have looked at as one of our commercial mares.
Mm-hmm.
Which may take people off, kind of surprised at what our decisions for her this year are.
Yeah.
But I mean, I'll definitely explain why we're thinking what we're thinking on that.
She is kind
But
of a challenge with us, as we said that we wanted to take her to a son of Tappet this year. Well, we have a son of Tappet, but we can't send her to him
yeah,
because they're out of the same broodmare sire. Because of course that would be our luck.
right.
But
And
with that in mind,
but we also can't send her to our son of Not This Time
yeah,
because she's by a son of Curlin, and he's out of a daughter of Curlin. So
she
those
came
two
before
things,
the boy. She gets a pass.
yeah. And typically we were really, she was probably not ever going to come to Indiana to breed. So, we really didn't have to worry about that. But we had a little filly named Oakley show up, and in my mind that changed a lot of things. So who are we going to breed her to this year? We're going to breed her to our son of Pulpit, Florida Derby winner, second in the Kentucky Derby, uh, graded stakes producer, sire of our own It's Golden the Hare, who made 504,000 on the track, which we'll talk about here real soon. But what's your thoughts on that cross? And I'll tell you, I mean, Nick and I have both talked about what we can get out of that and what we're thinking.
I mean, physically, they're a dream. I think this is going to be a very balanced, but I think this is going to be a brute of a horse.
Yeah, it's going to be
The end is not small. Ice is not small. They both, I mean, they're heavy horses. So I think this is going to be a really powerful baby. Um, the one thing that I really like about him is he has a nice strong hip for a mare like Bien, who kind of needs a little bit more speed to her. And even though Ice himself ran classic routes, he's thrown speed. He's thrown very fast horses. So I think he's going to be a nice match. We know the pulpit curl and cross does really well. The reverse is the Cody Swish cross with him being a son of Curlin out of a Tappet mare. Very similar vibes here. Um, I think this is going to be a knockout pairing for her.
And I think Nick said something about being our turf, one of our turf mares. A lot of people think of Icebox of, hey, he ran in the, won the Florida Derby. He was second in the Kentucky Derby. He was a dirt horse through and through, but his leading runner, which was grade 3 place, is a turf horse. Another one of his stakes horses is a turf horse. With him, if your mare is more balanced towards turf, that's probably what you're going to get. If your mare's more of a dirt horse, that's probably what you're going to get. So, and I think that's probably true with the pulpit line all the way through. And, if it is a turf horse, that one thing about Icebox is he was definitely a closer. And, some people think, man, if he's a closer, how can you say he had good turn of foot? And it was when they let him go. I mean, one of the favorite stretch calls that Icebox has is an Icebox on the outside coming with giant strides.
Mm-hmm.
When he turned it on, and in the Derby, he got stopped on the stretch 3 times coming from 19. And if he'd only been stopped twice, he probably would have won the Derby.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm really excited about this one. We've always said we want to breed the best, be the breeders on the best baby that any of our stallions ever produced. Well, what's a better way to do that than bring one of your commercial mares that go with him and breed that commercial mare to him. So I think it's a smart move with BN, get that baby out of it, and she might go back to Kentucky next year.
Did you ever think that you'd see BN bred to Icebox?
No. Especially like if you look at the start and coming from last year, I figured BN was going to be the Kentucky shopped around horse for the most part. But it's crazy how after the authentic baby last year, just how much things have changed, even in pecking order of the horses or decisions on the horses. But it's like now it shows the growth as a whole that you have the flexibility to take BN to Indiana and try to get one out is because you all have such a diverse roster now that it gives you
You're
some
part of
flexibility
it.
to play some things.
We all.
Well, and really to look at it, and it's kind of crazy to think about. The vast majority of our mares could be bred in Kentucky as a commercial mare at this point.
I think there's only one or two off the top of my head that I don't think we could.
Well, and I think those two were bought for a specific horse.
Oh no, I think you and me are going to disagree on one.
Sue is definitely not a Kentucky horse.
That's not who I'm talking about.
Um,
I mean, she is going to Kentucky this year, but whatever.
yeah, we'll talk about that. She wouldn't be a commercial mare because of her age.
There we go.
So, but would I love to have some of that type of blood and get a filly?
Yep.
Which is part of what's happening this year with her.
Yep.
So let's look at the next one.
Blinkers if there's room, and it's Cold into Hair. Finds the seam as to the inside here of Alpine Queen. 4 across the racetrack, and they get squeezed here at the top of the stretch. Mariah's Fortune is in front. It's Cold into Hair has had the right journey, and it's Cold into Hair was squeezed, but now opening up here in the late stages. It's Cold into Hair inside the final furlong. Is just striding away. A 16th to go. It's Cold into Hair. Wins this one easily. It's Cold into Hair gets the win. Going to be tight here for second. There was Trade Secret in that late photo there with Mariah's Fortune. Also, there was Great.
So
we're going to let Justin talk about who It's Cold into Hair is in full to right now.
if I ever want a pick-me-up, that's
Just watch
the
that
clip.
race.
Oh, yeah. Because what is not on this is how the announcers were kind of poo-pooing her.
Yep.
And said that she wasn't going to be able to turn the tables on this field. And she kind of, and one of the TikToks that we did for this video is the background song is Hold My Beer. So, yeah. Well, this is Justin's favorite mare.
So this is my personal favorite of all the mares that we have, Izzy, or It's Cold into Hair, as you heard there. And this is also my favorite pairing because we talk about grays. Now, unfortunately, as you heard earlier, we're not keeping said gray. But speaking of gray, it's not Seize the Day, it's Seize the Gray. I'm very excited because also as she's introduced me, now, mind you, I don't have the same history of horses and everything, but my favorite all-time horse, really more just based on looks and seeing and how it's done, is Arrowgate. So it's cool to finally have an Arrowgate. Not that there's not a lot left around anymore, and especially to have one that close and to be the one that's one of the favorites. I'm really excited to hear y'all talk the idea behind it, why you did it, so on and so forth.
Izzy's really cool, at least I'm sure Dad probably feels the same way, because it's not every day that you can say that you own your stallion's top earning of any gender. Mm-hmm. And Izzy was one that we've watched for years, and Dad was always like, if I could just figure out a way to get her, I want her in my breeding program like right now. So, earning $500,000, she always gets some respect no matter where we take her. And she raced 50 times with 12 wins, which is insane. And it wasn't like at the cheap tracks. It was at Aqueduct and
Churchill Downs, Belmont,
Churchill, Turfway, Keeneland, Horseshoe. I mean, she was all over the place. But I think the Seize the Gray pairing with her is going to be really top tier. because it's everything on paper that we know Icebox loves from our firsthand experience, and being able to reverse that cross with a Son of Arrowgate, especially like Seize the Grey, is just crazy.
And I think if I remember right, and Ryan, correct me if I'm wrong, I think this was the first big swing that was kind of decided for this year. Am I?
Yeah. Yeah, this
Yeah.
was one that was, I mean, even before Seize the Grey retired, we knew where she was going. It was just a matter of hoping he came in our budget.
I think we talked with Caesar's our owners and said, hey, when he retires, we want to send our big mare to him.
Yeah.
We were one of the first ones to sign a contract on him.
Yeah, we were
Because
right
it
up
was
there.
like the day everything got released.
Yep. And there's some sentimental things with Izzy. Obviously, she's out. She's by Icebox, which is one of our stallions. But I had been trying for 3 years to get her mother bred back to Icebox.
Mhm.
And around May of last year, we got a text message saying, hey, we're getting out of the business. Do you want to buy Izzy's mom? Well, that took all of half a second to make that decision.
Yeah.
So now we not only own Izzy's sire, we own Izzy's dam. So even though we didn't own her, her at the creation, she's really a homebred because we have both parents as well.
Mhm.
And to be able to mold her career in the breeding shed, it's just really, honestly, it's exciting. It's a full circle moment. And it's been a long journey because
Mhm.
when she retired from an injury after 50 starts. She actually didn't get hurt in a race. She got hurt in training, and with quite a bit of stall rest and Justin and Nick babying the snot out of her, and and she's just the most personable horse.
She's tiny as can be, though.
Yeah.
She's tiny. We did not think she was tiny, and then we got there. We're like, "Oh, you are a pony."
Yeah. The only thing is that thing between her ears thought she was 17 hands tall.
She's a Napoleon complex. We love it.
Yeah, I mean, as you can see in that little video that we did, she saw a little itty bitty hole and she got slammed and beat up, and she didn't care.
Now, Izzy's one, admittedly, that because I know of her track performance, I don't really pay as much attention to her actual female family. So while we were actually talking about this slide, I wanted to point out something that I didn't notice until today, and that is her dam is a half to a horse who won 34 times. 34. That's not race. That's how many he won.
Ran from 3 to 10.
That's crazy. Horse made over, he was close to $1 million.
Yeah, and it's kind of ironic because I actually found some videos of his races.
Yeah.
And one of the horses that he beat was the hare.
Wow.
Oh, that's funny.
Yeah. So they bred the half sister to the hare, or the half sister of a horse that beat the hare to the hare, which is really cool. And let's make it clear, the hare is not gray.
Some people will get that.
That is definitely going to be a clip.
You know what?
For sure.
Can you pause this real quick? Or like editing Ryan, we're pausing this. Can we please name the Seize the Gray baby?
The
hair's
not
gray.
Yes. Yes.
The hair's not gray. Oh my god.
Yeah. And if it is gray, he'll buy it.
Funnier.
Yeah.
He'll buy it.
Oh my god. Like, I'm serious.
Yeah. Justin, was it just me and you that were talking about it?
Yep.
that had been decided. The hair is not gray was the winning vote.
Okay, cool. All right.
Time back in.
Time back in. Editing, Ryan.
1, 2, 3. Okay. 3, 2. Justin. Well, here's going to be another one to mix in. Okay. 3, 2, 1. So yeah, it's absolutely, you see that the family has durability. Izzy raced 50 times, won 12. Izzy's dam, her half brother, had 34 wins. He also had 125 equine speed figures.
That's crazy.
Yeah, so I mean, he was a good horse, and although Izzy is her mom's best produce, she is 5 runners and 5 winners, so she's 100% winners for starters. And we're going to try to recreate a full sibling to Izzy every year, as long as her mom wants to breed and as long as Icebox wants to breed. We will be trying to create full siblings to the little girl. So, So this is going to be the one that was kind of alluded to, but who is her baby going to be by this year?
A son of Arrogate out of a Grade 1 winning family, 2-time Grade 1 winner Seize the Gray will stand for $30,000 in 2025.
We first noticed Seize the Gray when we were at the Derby and watched him win the Pat Day mile on the undercard. That's when he first came on our radar here. Obviously, after the Preakness, he had really established himself as one of the top 3-year-olds in the country.
Seize the Gray! Oh, Hammock Torres seized the day to win the 140.
Seize the Gray being by Arrogate, it was nice. That was a horse that left us too soon, was a brilliant racehorse, and I think Seize the Gray epitomizes the traits of Arrogate and will hopefully pass it on to future generations.
He's kind of the type horse that we like to buy. He's a racy type, and I think breeders who use him will be really happy with his foals.
Why did we choose him? Obviously, Nick said something about we know Icebox's affinities, but there's also one more thing that kind of played into it. There are only 2 sons of Arrogate standing in Lexington. There's Seize the Gray, and then there's Archangelo. Archangelo is out of a Tappet there. So
Can't go there.
Can't go there. But with Izzy is out of a son of Pulpit, which Pulpit is also the sire of Tappet. Taking a Pulpit line mare to Seize the Gray, who has no Pulpit or Tappet in him. If it worked, Arrogate to a daughter of Tappet, we're hoping that the same thing, the same affinity to the bloodline can work again. Also, we know that Icebox has an affinity to Unbridled Song. Mm-hmm. So with a daughter of Icebox who has an affinity to Unbridled Song, and then Arrogate having an affinity to Tappet, we really thought that was probably going to be the best decision for her. And it was a big swing. At the time, you don't know how everybody's going to accept him, but when you look at his book, everybody and their brother wanted to breed to him. So,
and there's a couple of things about Seize the Gray that I think match really well with Izzy that is not talked about enough. So Seize the Gray ran, I believe it was 16 starts in his 2 seasons with Coach Dwayne Lucas. That's more than any of the horses in his 3-year-old crop at the time ran. He never was off. He never took an unsound step, and he was mentally one of the best horses to work around. You could trust people around him. He didn't really try and bite. I mean, he was owned by My Racehorse, and he was a great horse for the My Racehorse owners because they could just love all over their racehorse. And I think, that mental aspect is so important when you're trying to produce these horses that can run at the top levels, because they have to be able to handle these big crowds, these big environments, and, the hustle and bustle of the racetrack. So I think with Seize the Gray, the other son of Arrogate was not able to accomplish both of those things as well as he did. So, and he's out of smart there, which is just another level of, you just really want to see that in a stallion.
Yeah, and another thing is, yes, Seize the Gray won the Preakness, and everybody's going to say, well, but he didn't run in the Derby. But he won the Pat Day Mile on Derby Day, so he still had the same amount of time off as every other horse that ran in the Derby that went to the Preakness, and then he still ran in the Belmont.
Yep.
So talk about durability in the horse. His durability, Izzy's durability. Obviously, if you watch him, he did really good running from the lead, so he had speed. And my guess would be with Izzy somewhere between a mile and a 16th, probably would be my guess of what the baby would be. So definitely, she is definitely one of the ones that we're probably most excited about. Not just because of, we really did our homework on picking the breeding, but there's the emotional attachment to not only Izzy, but also Seize the Gray, because, we were all screaming and yelling for him as he was coming down the stretch on the Preakness. So then the big question is, who's she going to be bred to in 2026? And it actually, we had talked about it, who we picked, but that was tail end of the summer, maybe middle of the summer.
Had conversation about it.
Then it was like, we went other directions. We even talked about bringing her home and breeding her to one of our own. And we got a phone call one day, and the opportunity arose that we really didn't think, because there are certain sire lines out there that do really well. It's what I would call the magic sauce with the pulpit tappet line. This sire line is one of those. Only problem is, to get to this sire line, you have to find a big bucks. Well, and you also have to find one that's not bred on the magic sauce.
Yep.
You got to find one of these horses that does not have tappet on the bottom side,
and that they're not tiny.
Right.
And it's lights out, locked, pouring it on, running aggressively through the stretch to win by 7 easy lengths.
Here is Locked. Locked, racing by on the outside for the lead. Locked, the wine steward, it is Locked.
Here comes Locked after Mulligan. Locked catching with every single stride, and Locked will win the Cigar Mile.
It's all about Locked, dominating the big cap, cruising home to an effortless 8-length rock.
So the Santa Anita handicap was what sold me on him. That race was just outstanding.
Yeah.
And the fact, grade 1 winner at 2, grade 1 winner at 3, grade 1 winner at 4. I'll let you comment on the physicality of the horse compared
Physically.
to other gun runner sons.
A lot of the gun runners are, and if you are a gun runner lover here, I am so sorry, but there is only one way to really describe these horses. They can be kind of ugly looking. They kind of have like a coarse type to them. They look a little bit like standardbreds sometimes, and they're not that big. And we have Izzy, who's a very feminine filly. As filly, she's a mare, and she's not that big. So oftentimes when we've been looking at gun runners, they've usually kind of not been a good match for her physically. Either they were too small or just the angles didn't really work. Locked is the most like his sire of the gun runners I have seen in person. Now, I haven't seen Gun Pilot. I've heard Gun Pilot is very similar in terms of looking just like his sire, but he's got some scope to him. He has a nice elongated leg. I think he's going to add some good size to Izzy, but it's going to be a balanced size. I don't think it's going to be, I mean, she's a stocky mare, so she doesn't need anything too much more stocky. She needs more scope than anything, and I think Locked has that in spades.
Yeah, I mean, I think he looks more like his dad in more of a refined way.
Yeah.
Than any other son of gun runner out there.
He's a very regal looking gun runner.
Yeah, I mean, he reminds me of like the historic chestnuts of the past.
Yeah.
Your Alydars, your, I hate to say it, Secretariat style. I mean, there's something about him. You look at him and you think.
I think it's Malibu Moon.
Yeah.
I think it's Malibu Moons. They were what they were, but they were gorgeous animals.
Right.
And I think that's the perfect level of refinement for a gun runner.
And, you know, I think when we first got Izzy, we actually went, I mean, we were going the gun runner route.
The Gunite.
You know, trying to find, you know, with Gunite and the one that stands at Three Chimneys.
Gun Pilot wasn't there yet, but we were looking at Papa Cap was the other one.
Yeah, that's it. That was the one. Yeah.
Yeah.
But, you know, things just didn't work out. Obviously, last year, there was only one horse we were breeding her to last year. There wasn't even the consideration of another stallion at that point. But Locke, to me, just checks all the boxes for Izzy. I think it's definitely going to be exciting to see it, and then everybody will have a chance to buy it at one of the sales. So
yeah. I just love that we're continuing to prioritize longevity with the horses that we send her to.
I can guarantee it's going to be a chestnut.
Yep. Probably going to have a blaze.
Yeah.
Gonna be a little mini-me.
Raid is trying to hang in there. Risen change from the back with Touch Me Not. Go. Metro Girl kicks for home. Go. Metro Girl is up by 2. Spectacular now. Holiday Raid. A tiring American Money. 8th to go. Go. Metro Girl is well clear now. 3.5 and widening. Inside the final 16th. Go. Metro Girl is going to win. Let's go Metro Girl and Adam Bowman to get the score. Holiday Raid will reclaim second. Spectacular now and Risen change in 1 minute 46 and 1.
So this is our next. She's due in the middle of February. She's one of our partnership mares. And there's a lot to say about her. Definitely a quality road mare. That's a nice quality broodmare. No pun intended.
She has the quality road forelock. For anyone who knows, you know.
Yeah, she has the hair. The other thing about her is she's huge.
Massive.
She's like at least 17-1.
And we don't usually like tall mares, but she's so proportionate in the way that she's put together. it makes sense how she could run the way she did.
Yeah, and she made, I think, about close to 85,000 on the track. So, she definitely could run a bit.
It clicks now why she's the size she is. Not only is
Why?
she by Quality Road out of a Pleasant Tap mare.
Yeah. Which really, because Quality Road out of a Pleasant Tap mare, out of a Summer Squall mare.
Oh, that's giants.
Yeah. And then, Summer Squall is AP Indy's half brother.
Mm-hmm.
So she is definitely the type of mare that you could go a ton of different directions on what stallion you would take her to. And she's out of the Pleasant Tap mare is a multiple stakes winning, multiple stakes placed mare. And she's also 100% winners from starters. Mm-hmm. This catalog page was pulled yesterday, I think, is when I pulled this one. So this is all up to date. So there's some really interesting things. I don't know why, and I just realized this. What is it with Florida Derby?
You have a type. It's like red mares and Florida Derby. You say you don't like them, they end up here.
Not even thinking about it, it's another mare who is by a Florida Derby winner, which is kind of funny.
This one just didn't get in the start gate.
At the Breeders' Cup Classic.
Yeah.
Other nice thing, especially since we're foaling her in Indiana, is her dam title dance is actually the half sister to a horse named Mr. Pollard. Mr. Pollard made 581,000 and some change, but he was also Indiana Horse of the Year. Mm-hmm. So, obviously with the first dam's half brother being at one point in time, I think he may have actually been the leading money earner until Unreachable Star surpassed him. But that is definitely, especially for our Indiana breeders that would be interested in the baby. That's kind of a selling point that it's from a family of a very prominent Indiana runner. Mm-hmm. And, like I said, Metro Girl could run herself. She had a very nice Mystic Guide last year.
Gorgeous.
And it was big. So we definitely think she's, going to throw the bigger type horse. She's another one.
She's one of the first two In Due Time babies due.
Well,
so
yeah,
you may have first In Due
Time. We hadn't got to that point yet. That's the next slide. Let's just go ahead and jump to it. So she is due, and I put a March foal. She's actually due in February. When I made this slide, I didn't change that from the slide for Izzy. Izzy's actually due the 3rd of March, and I believe Go Metro Girls due like February 17th. So, the Not This Time Quality Road Cross was a really strong cross. Not This Time is In Due Time is a pretty good sized horse himself. I think personally he was probably a mile and a 16th, could probably stretch to a mile and 8 and be, pretty strong. I think that he's more I would have loved to have seen him at that mile range because he had good speed. Him being out of a curling mare, and obviously looking at him, the curling's pretty strong with him. I'm really excited about that. And then, like I said, she's a partnership mare. She was specifically gotten for him, so she will be going back to him for the 2026 breeding season. So we're definitely excited. Being the first in due time baby, there's a possibility it won't be the first in due time baby, but it'll be the first in due time baby that we have access to. So obviously we're going to be doing a lot of pictures, a lot of video. I'll have a foaling video coming out on TikTok. We'll probably start adding some of those foaling videos in the podcast. A little harder in the podcast because, you know, a lot of our listeners actually listen on Apple Podcast and Spotify, which doesn't carry the video, but for the YouTube watchers, we'll have some of those videos on here as well. But definitely excited. We're putting a lot of nice mares underneath in due time last year from, you know, what he bred, and this year. He's definitely a stallion I'm extremely excited about.
Yeah. I think we're going to have fun naming it.
Yeah, it'll be fun.
I don't know why, but I love it.
The in due time name?
No, Go Metro Girl.
Go Metro Girl. Yeah, there's a lot of
puns to be made.
A lot of names that could be made with that. And you know, there's other mares that we have that are either that or our partners have that are in foal to him as well. That we won't talk about on here. So there'll be some good names coming out.
Oh, for sure.
For those babies. Let's just go ahead and move on to the last mare that we're going to cover. And I will say,
we're going to let Dad do the talking on this one because this is his favorite mare to ever exist.
I was just going to say that she is not my favorite horse that we own. That's truth.
Yeah.
100%. But
she is the Stormy to your code.
Yeah, she is the second favorite. She is the favorite broodmare. Her daughter from this year, Oakley, stands the chance of surpassing her in that second favorite spot. But let's go ahead and move on to Day Dawn, our Irish mare. Now, this was when we bought her. She was definitely
she is not that heavy.
Yeah, she looks a lot more healthy. She was supposed to have a taprit. I think her due date was May 8th, but we had her checked, and she has slipped it at some point in time, which opened up some really good opportunity. When we first got her, we actually talked to the stallion farm about this particular stallion, and it wasn't, you know, she had to come to Indiana to foal. Then we'd have to, and it was going to be, a March foal, and we were going to have to ship the mare back with the baby, get her bred. When obviously I think we made the right choice for the first baby that we bred, because Oakley is a standout. But we'll definitely be able, we're going to be able to do what kind of was in the mindset from the very beginning. And that just happened because we found out she wasn't in foal. I think I was sitting in McDonald's parking lot, and Nick called me, or I called her, and I'm like, hey, we were always wanting to do this one particular thing. Wonder, I'm going to send a text to the farm and see what we could do. And before the clock struck 12 for New Year's Day, we ended up knowing exactly what we were going to do with her. and we're pretty excited about it. It's definitely something I don't think a whole lot of people will do, because she's a European horse from one of the most iconic families in all of horse racing, and he's a foreign bred horse. She was, she's turf, he's turf. Let's just ring the bell. Oh, no.
Yeah, talk about why we like her.
Why we like her. Yeah. One of the first stallions that Nick ever met, and I didn't even pay attention to it until recently, was, I think she was 8 years old. We made our trip to Ashford so she could get the Cale Crane experience, and Woodman was still at Ashford at the time.
I remember when Woodman died.
Yeah.
Because we really liked him.
Dawn is by a son of Woodman, Hawkwing. The important part about her is she's out of a mare named Russian Ballet. Russian Ballet, she produced Dr. Johnson, which makes Dawn an actual 3/4 sister to Dr. Johnson, which I believe was grade 1 placed here in the United States, and he was also a sire. But you can also see that she's got a half sister who is also a stakes producer, or stakes producer and multiple stakes place producer. So that was a strong thing for us. But kind of the big thing is Russian Ballet is the 3/4 sibling. I always said half until I really looked at it. Her being by Nijinsky, that makes her the 3/4 sibling to El Gran Senor, and to a horse named Try My Best. El Gran Senor went on to a phenomenal sire career here in the United States, and Try My Best also went on to a phenomenal sire career, except he was in Europe. El Gran Senor, without El Gran Senor, we would not have a pretty famous Triple Crown winner, because El Gran Senor is the dam sire of Empire Maker. So we wouldn't have American Pharaoh if it wasn't for El Gran Senor being the dam sire. But then the very big thing is third dam's Best in Show, which that's Blush with Pride, Better Than Honor, Rags to Riches, Jazzle, Close Hatches, Tacitus,
Almanai,
which 2-time Japanese Horse of the Year, Scylla, who just won the Breeders' Cup Distaff, Archangelo is in that family as well, Teaming. So this family is just absolutely stacked with potential. Dawn is a grade 1 producer for a horse in Mexico, not necessarily looked at as highly as what some of the other places, but she has produced a grade 1 winner in Mexico. And obviously her Icebox filly is absolutely gorgeous. So anything I missed?
No,
I did say when we bought her, I'm not going to get attached to her, not going to fall in love with her. Then she got to the barn. When we first got her, she didn't like humans.
She hated humans.
Yeah.
She just didn't want them around.
Yeah.
She actually didn't want other horses around. She still doesn't want other horses around unless she picks one to be her friend. But now she nickers at you when you come in the barn and all that kind of stuff.
And she's got the most beautiful face. Like, she's got kind of the big Arabian-ish bug eyes, and she's a very old school type mare.
Right. Which, obviously with her mom being by Nijinsky, and then her second dam being by Buckpasser, that's where do you find a mare these days whose dam is by Nijinsky?
You don't.
Yeah.
Like the other day, you thought Mr. Prospector was wild, but I had to remind you that we have this.
Yeah. Well, and then we have a mare whose mom is by Mr. Prospector as well. So,
yep.
Wait, we got another mare whose mom is by Northern Dancer.
We got another mare whose mom is by Jade Hunter.
Which one's that?
Sue.
Oh yeah, well, and the hair, being
Smart
by
Strike.
that. Yeah, we got a Smart Strike mare. So, all right.
We like old school.
Yeah, definitely old school, and a lot of our thoughts on how we breed are more of the old school ways as well. So, let's just get into who we're going to breed her to this year.
Introducing a stallion, as top class as they come. In 22 career starts, he won or placed in 12 graded stakes, competing in 15 grade ones, earning over $1.7 million. His undisputed speed is evidenced by 7 100-plus Spire speed figures, a 3-time grade 1 winner, Raging Bull.
God, I love this horse.
Now, little birdie told me that you've been waiting for a Raging Bull for a very long time.
Yeah. Oh, I mean, I even got to the point where I was just looking for mares in foal to Raging Bull to be able to add it. This is a little bit of a walking video of him. With him being a European horse, he's French, a phenomenal grass horse, her being Irish, and the grass pedigree behind her as well. El Grand Senor and Try My Best were both grass horses, which a lot of people probably didn't really think about because you see El Grand Senor on the dirt, on the bot, with Empire Maker and things like that. But I think we're kind of looking for a couple of things here. One, crossing our fingers that we're getting a filly, because it's definitely tapping into a lot of European blood that we can do a lot of things in the breeding shed with this baby when it retires, because it's definitely a baby. If it's a filly, it's not getting sold. I mean, it'll be one of ours, but I think it might actually be more of the European style of turf as well, which obviously works pretty well when the European horses come over here.
It works pretty well when you're running at Kentucky Downs.
Yeah. So, I'm overly excited. I mean, like I said, when we first got her, he was one we were looking at definitely. But then there's a couple big things, and Nick knows why I want to do this. So this is obviously Raging Bull's top side, Dawn's top and bottom, first 3 generations. As you can see, Dark Angel, Raging Bull sire, goes up through acclamation, royal applause, Wajib, which Wajib won the Breeders' Cup Turf, I believe.
Yeah.
Way back. But the 5th generation sire is a horse named Try My Best. We'll go down here. Try My Best is by Northern Dancer, out of sex appeal, making him the full sibling to El Grand Senor. But as you can see over here for Dawn's second dam is sex appeal. So my thinking behind this is taking, obviously, Try My Best has passed the Y chromosome every generation and established his own sire line in Europe, and take that Y, that sire line, and reintroduce it to Dawn with sex appeal, and Dawn being her dam being the half or 3/4 sibling to him, I think you're reinforcing all the good things behind El Gran Senor, Try My Best, with the female family from Dawn. I think that's, as you can see with other ones, I'm reinforcing dams and female families in some of our breeds that we'll talk about in the next few issues.
And physically, he brings a lot of value to Dawn. I mean, Dawn is a smaller mare. She's probably about 15-2 hands, but she's
a tank.
Yeah, she's a tank. She'd be on her tiptoes if she's hitting 15-3. But the nice thing about Raging Bull is he's tall. He's about 16'2" himself. He's got leg. He's not really that wide of a horse, but he's so balanced. I mean, he's very your French horse. He's kind of a little bit more lean, and I think Dawn kind of needs that, because if you look at her kids, they are all brick houses, and Dawn herself needs her babies to have a little bit more distance to them. She tends to throw some speedsters, so I think he's going to be a great match for her.
Yeah, and just his racing resume.
Yeah.
The number of 100+ speed buyers he got, the number of graded stakes that he won or placed in. I mean, he was the real deal racehorse. And I know a lot of people
really like his 2-year-olds that I guess now they would be 3-year-olds now, but his 2-year-olds that we've seen, oh my gosh. I'm not expecting them to be precocious. For some reason, I just don't expect that from him. But I think 3-year-old season, he's going to have some real runners come out on the turf.
And there are people that, well, you can't win the Kentucky Derby on the turf.
Who cares?
Well, I like, it's one of the things. I mean, we're pretty balanced on the number of dirt horses, dirt mares that we have, and the number of grass. I love grass racing. It seems more strategic.
Mm-hmm.
Rarely do you see a turf horse, and I say rarely because I know of one specifically that once she gets on the lead, she's hard to beat on the turf. But a lot of the times it's who pulls the trigger at the right time and has, so, I mean, it's definitely a lot of fun to watch.
And listen, you may not be able to win the Kentucky Derby on the turf, but you know what you can win on the turf? The Breeders' Cup, an Epsom Derby, a Melbourne Cup. How big do we want to aim here?
Arc de Triomphe.
There we go.
Royal Ascot, anything there.
Oh man, I'd kill to have an Ascot runner. That would be so cool.
And, could it happen? The pedigree's there.
Yeah.
And one thing we've always said, and a lot of, it's been proven, those heavy, historic female families, they may skip a generation, but they always come back.
Yeah, for sure.
That's one of the reasons why when we're keeping Oakley, if this is a filly, we'll be keeping it. If it's a colt, Nick's going to be busting me over the head to try to make it a sport horse.
It will run first.
Yeah.
That is my thing. It will run first, but if it is a colt, we are fighting.
Yeah. So,
that will be the most insane jumper of all time.
And, the nice thing is for the sport horse people out there, this is another sire out there that you should probably look for when it comes to, your 3-day eventing and that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
It will
and all
be
the naming possibilities between a son of Dark Angel and Day Dawn. Oh my gosh.
Raging Russian.
Okay, well maybe not that one. White Russian, like the drink.
Yeah, Polish ballet.
No.
Well, you don't want me to go to the
Dark
next.
Angel and Day Dawn. Like, there's such a contrast in that.
So for those of you all watching this on a recording, just we're going over like a few names here. These names go on for like hours worth of conversations between the three of us, and then we all like say we got it, and then we wait like 30 minutes, and then here comes a surplus like 6
Y'all
more
should see the
names.
group chat. Just saying.
Oh, yeah. Hey, what do you think of this name? What do you think of this name? Oh, that one's really good. 10 minutes
And then
later.
we forget about it.
Yeah, you don't want me to go to the you don't want me to go to the second generation on Dawn.
Woodman?
Okay.
Bottom side.
I mean, Dark Angel and Sex Appeal. Just call it Victoria's Secret. Vicky's Secret.
Ooh. Raging.
You can't do Victoria's Secret because it's trademarked.
Right.
I'm sorry, if you say Vicky's Secret, I want to think of like when you say Vicky's Secret, it sounds like an 85-year-old woman or a 90-year-old woman.
Sex Appeal and Dark Angel.
I
Raging.
I got a better one for you.
What?
Angel Wings. That ties into your Victoria's Secret.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Christopher Daniels.
Oh my gosh.
We're falling off the hinges here. This is how our usual conversations go.
Wait. Who was the Dark Angel?
No Dark Angel.
I
but
thought
the
there
Fallen
was.
Angel was Christopher
Oh.
Daniels.
Dad liked him a lot.
Dark Angel was a TV show.
Ah.
No, there are so many good combinations for names. That this one will be a hard one to name.
Guilty pleasure.
Guilty pleasure. Yeah.
We're gonna put up one of them memes that says like 5 hours later, SpongeBob, and it's just gonna be, what about this?
2 hours later. Yeah. That would be funny.
This is what happens when you get a bunch of spicy adults talking about their special interest.
You know, if it's anything like its sister, it could be Demon Wings.
Devil is Dawn.
Devil is Dawn.
That's kind of cool.
There's so much. Nah, okay, we're getting off on a tangent. This is really horrible how things go because since I may get a text at 11 tonight saying, "Hey, what do you think of this?"
What time did I call you morning about stuff like that?
Oh, this has been going on since 10:30 this morning.
Yeah.
If people really knew the conversations that go on behind the scenes of,
I'm selling a car, and I should have hid the alerts while I'm at work. I've got like my phone on silent, but it vibrates, and I'm sitting helping the customer sell a car, and I promise you, my phone vibrated like 26 times in a row, and I was like, oh well, maybe
it's not my fault you didn't mute.
Maybe there's an alarm on or something like that, and no, I just see text. I was like, well, I'll get to these when I can, but yes, it's a forever 24/7. Like, if you see how much we have to edit out of these podcasts, I know sometimes you look at our episodes and think they're daunting, that there might be 2, 3. Most of the time, if it's 2 hours, that meant we recorded for about 3:15 because we can go all over
Justin,
the place.
scoot up close to the camera. Blink twice if you need help. I was hoping he's just going to blink twice. We are holding him hostage with our horse knowledge.
Yeah, it is whether it's a name, which we got a lot of names to think of now.
Oh my gosh, I'm in heaven because the names are cool. Like, we don't really have a mare that has a bad name.
No, and I'm still hung up on 2 for this year.
Oh yeah, we do have to. Well, one of them's already figured out.
No, they rejected it.
Oh, you mean this year?
Yeah, the ones that are yearlings now.
Yeah.
Which
That's so stupid that they rejected that.
Yeah.
Jockey Club, I am gonna fight you a little bit. You need to have standardized rules. I understand some things are subject to approval, but you can't be fine with someone using Annie Oakley and then get mad at someone else using the word Oakley in the name. That does not make sense.
Not let you use iced out Oakley when her sire is Icebox. What do you mean by that?
Out means bling. I don't know what else. I mean,
I literally saw a horse the other day on TV named Rocky's Balboa, and there's not any way that you could tell me that that is somehow free from trademark and fine, but this isn't.
Well, reputation. How did that get through? And yet Iced Out Oakley's doesn't. This is a petition to the Jockey Club. I want you to cut this, Deb. We're going to post this. Get your naming convention at least a little bit more easy to follow.
Well, and they have the available name book.
Yeah.
And if it's not in there, then it should be approved as long as it doesn't have some kind of.
Yeah, I mean, I get not having certain ties, but otherwise, if it's there.
I've talked to several people about it.
Yeah.
They think, so the people I've talked to think that the Jockey Club is using AI.
Yeah.
And AI is what's kicking the names. Well, that is the 4 mares that we were going to cover this week, in this week's episode. We've got probably 2 more episodes, maybe 3, where we'll go through not only our mares, but we'll go through the stallions that we have as well. I think we're going to have a really good. It's going to be a fun year.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, definitely going to be a fun year. Excited for the babies, which we should start seeing them anytime.
And
I'm thinking
for that content, definitely follow Ryan on TikTok. He is going to have plenty of content because he's going to be foal watching, and there's plenty happening around. He's always good at posting that. So definitely, if you want to see it, you want to follow babies. Everyone loves babies. Definitely check him out on TikTok.
We don't actually do the birth, but their first, trying to get up and the falls and the awkwardness, and then a lot of times, as long as the baby's not slow, probably even have the first nursing.
Mm-hmm.
So, and typically we have a lot of first nursings on fillies. Colts, not so much.
That's not.
They're always slow. They're slower to stand up. They're slower to, on average. I mean, there are some that are quick, but
I feel like that's a good example of the male species.
Okay.
No, but I think it's gonna be a really fun year, and I think sometimes when breeders have years kind of like we had in 2025 heading into 2026 and they have the small foal crops, sometimes it can stress you out a little bit more. But I think for us, it's going to be really cool to kind of see we can step back a little bit more, but then we can also prepare for the next year and really get invested in those pairings as well. So not as much stress on our shoulders with that.
The babies for next year, for 2027, those are really going to be a culmination of 20 years of gaining knowledge in the business, which is, obviously we never gave up.
Can you imagine if we had the knowledge that we had back when we were trying to build a Broodmare book for Alley Sweep or Max's Pal? How many things we'd be doing differently?
Oh, yeah, completely. That's part of the problem with not growing up in this business.
Yeah.
You don't have the knowledge. The big thing is that it's not something that should keep you from getting in the business. But if you are, get advice and do what we did. Read and watch everything that you can possibly, from theories from 100 years ago, 50 years ago, what makes if you want to be in the sales babies, what makes a good sales baby. You can't just get in it and think, oh, I like this sire, I'm going to breed a mare to him.
Yeah.
There's a lot more to creating a successful horse than that. And, you either have to want to have somebody else pick your matings for you, or you need to have the thirst for knowledge and the dedication to go out and get it, or it could be the difference of a successful baby or bankruptcy, to be honest.
Yeah.
So
also, shout out, because last video we were actually inching in on 500 subscribers, and as I just checked before this, we passed the 600 threshold to 617. So thank you all. Now, by doing that, I'm expecting to be at 700 by the next video. I think that's just what it's got to be. We got to keep moving on and moving forward. But what was even more crazy is 15,000 views in the last video. That's amazing.
That's
guys.
crazy.
We really appreciate it. Makes this thing kind of worth it, and we really appreciate you. Also, shout out in the video, comments, anything you all want to see, what you like, so on and so forth. We want to be interactive.
I have a question, because I'm always curious about our followers. If they could pick one dream mating of any racehorses in history, who would it be? I want to know what you would pick down below. I'm curious, Dad. We're going to have to answer this question for the next episode. But be thinking about what your pairing would be. I don't know what mine would be at all. Unless you want to give it away right now, we can talk about that.
Yeah, I'd have to think about it. There's some pretty incredible pairings, because you have to kind of set the ground rules. Did the two horses have to be alive at the same time versus any broodmare, any.
Yeah, let's make it fun. Any broodmare, any sire.
Because I'm thinking I'm going to go with Cosma as my mare.
That's Halo's dam.
Mm-hmm.
Which is the full sister to Natamala, which is Northern Dancer. I was actually thinking it's not too outlandish, but better than Honor, straight to Seattle Slip.
Oh.
Yeah. Or get this one, Puka to Alidar.
Man.
Yeah.
You're on the spot now. I don't have a good answer for this yet.
Okay, but throw Alidar out. Do Puka to Northern Dancer.
Oh, yeah. Puka to Mr. Prospector.
That would be crazy.
Puka to Man of War.
Are you putting Puka at the greats?
Well, Puka is definitely one of the greats. I mean, anybody wants to argue with me, I'm good. Let's argue. Let's talk about it.
He's ready to square up.
You can breed that mare to donkey and get a graded stakes horse. I mean, flat out. She just produced.
Be careful. We have a good magic.
Well, I mean,
this is the beef. Dad now owns 2 good magics, so
yeah. I think it's a phenomenal. I mean, Raging Bull to Puka.
That'd be crazy.
I mean, it not Raging Bull.
Raging Torrent.
To Puka is phenomenal, but
we'll see.
I mean, I put her with better than Honor.
Shenanigans to Into Mischief.
Ooh.
Ooh.
Shenanigans to Northern Dancer.
Shenanigans to Stormcat.
Ooh.
Spicy.
Yeah, that one would be a probably rival. Ooh, Shenanigans to Halo.
That'd be a mean.
Oh, that, yeah. But, along that line, I think it would be really cool, shenanigans to Sunday Silence.
Who's that? Yeah.
Puka to Sunday Silence.
Now, we are saying all of this. If there's shenanigans somewhere in these horses' pedigrees, we're ignoring that.
There's been a lot of shenanigans during this episode, too.
But and also look at, like, Weekend Surprise.
I was just thinking about her.
To
Terlingua.
Weekend Surprise, Terlingua. What's Gone West's dam's name? Crimson Satan? Secretame, who was, she's out of Crimson Satan, isn't she?
I think so.
Take them and breed them to an Alidar, a Foaling.
I guess that's going to be the question for next time, is going to be if you could take one historic mare and breed it to a modern sire, who would it be?
Historic mare to a modern sire.
Yep.
And then do the reverse, a modern mare to a historic sire.
Sure.
I see it.
And you have to answer this too.
Yeah.
That really could be an episode.
I'll answer that next week.
That could be an episode.
I'll pick Puka to Man Award. That's going to be his thing.
No, I will pick a real one. But
that's a real one.
Well, I understand, but I'm not going to copy one, because if I pick one right now, I'm just going to pick somebody that both of you all named and comment on them.
I will probably not go with Puka, so you could have Puka if you wanted it. I'm going to go with somebody better than Honor, Rachel Alexandra. Yeah.
Talk about painful one.
Yeah. Then you've got.
Do you think Zenyatta would produce a runner with Manowar? I don't. I think it would be way too big.
I think she needs to go to a more common sire, like a Mariah's Mon. A Wavering Mon. Herda Woodman would have been interesting.
Oh.
I mean, because she's Street Cry to Woodman.
Yeah.
Wavering Monarch. That's Buck Passer.
The Minstrel.
No.
Why not?
We have one of those.
It's far back.
Yeah. No, I think some of those questions we could just do we could do a whole conspiracy theory rabbit hole episode. That'd be fun. Yeah.
Because then we can also explore why you don't want your stallion to produce a Triple Crown winner.
Yeah. I think we could probably do a whole hour-and-a-half episode on this topic alone.
Yeah. Oh, for sure.
The ending of this video got a lot longer. Because, guys, this is what our phone conversations look like. We actually started TikTok Lives just to have our phone conversations because people
didn't believe that this was it. This was it.
Yeah. And what's funny about it is it seems meaningless and stupid and outlandish, but to me, I think it actually reinforces the thought process of breeding, pedigree to pedigree and racehorse to race mare. So it's just a good thing that we don't get the stallion registry anymore.
What do you mean? I have it in my entertainment center.
2026? Oh.
Yep.
You got to remember, this is the child that at 9-10 years old.
Or 2026 is going to be on its way. I'm subscribed to it.
Yeah, that at 9-10 years old, she carried the stallion book around like it was some crazy teen idol book.
I had it taken away from me in school quite a bit.
Yeah, you're not
really that discreet when you're pulling out the 600 page.
It's like, yeah, I'm listening in class. turn the page.
Yep, and the little pages were super thin, so they made a lot of noise. Yeah.
All right, well, guys, thanks for watching us. This kind of went down a lot of different rabbit holes, and some of the stuff we're going to have to edit out is going to make its way back to kind of a blooper reel.
Yeah. Oh, we've got bloopers.
Yeah, it took 6 or 7 times to do the introduction, and she's about ready to lose it right now. So, but yeah, thanks for watching. It's crazy. Hope, getting the 15,000 plus viewers on the last video, and usually takes a year and a half to 2 years to really start building a YouTube channel. So we appreciate you guys subscribing and watching, and we'll add some other content that may not just be, we've got a live event coming up at the award ceremony for Indiana. We may start doing some shorts of, the mares that we've bred and that kind of stuff as well. So, and Triple Crown season's coming up. We'll have a lot to talk about with, we'll go in and deep dive pedigrees of some of the leading contenders, and can they make the mile and a quarter distance? Can they not? So a lot of good things coming up in 2026.
I'm looking forward to it.
Yep. All right. Thanks, guys.